Howdy, folks, and welcome to the New Favorite Things podcast, episode number 54. And today we're going to talk about Goosechase, which is a wonderful resource for student scavenger hunts, but it can be used in a way that's so creative. It can be aligned to any teacher's content with a little bit of creative thinking and problem solving. So, we're going to take you step by step through how to create a goose chase. The first thing that you're going to want to do is go to goosechase.com. You can create an account for free, and then I will be able to give you access to a premium license through Granbury ISD's uh, licensing agreement. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to click on My Games once you get logged in and an account created, and then we're going to click New Game. And I'm going to just give this a name like example. You can upload a cover image. I like to just use whatever logo I've got or whatever document I'm doing, and then a description. So this is strictly for the purposes of explaining Goosechase. You can include a location. You can also include a game password. This is important because the Goosechase app is essentially open for anyone to search for any Goosechase activity. So if you wanted to put in a password, you could put in a password that only your students know that you would give to them, maybe with the instructions, or maybe it's a class password, or maybe it's your last name. So your students will always remember the password. I'm going to go ahead and click Save and Continue. And then I'm going to go ahead and start creating a mission list. So my missions can be one of three different types, really kind of one of four different types. The first one is this photo or video submission. So I might name my submission here Leapfrog. And I'll give a description in groups, play Leapfrog, and record the video. I can then go into advanced settings and I can specify, hey, I don't want photos, I want videos only. And then photos inside of the app are not going to be a possibility. Maybe I want to say just photos only. Or maybe I want to allow the user to choose between photos or videos. This next one here says submission sources, and it gives you the choice of live capture only by default. That means that the user, whenever they're doing the Goosechase, will only be able to record or take pictures inside of the app. I think it's easier to allow a live capture and library, especially when we're doing something that might be TEK aligned, because students might be able to take a screenshot and submit it that way. Maybe they're taking a picture of a whole bunch of things outside, out of the school Wi-Fi, and then they come back inside and submit everything. And automation is the ability to time new missions to set out. So maybe you're doing a multiple day Goosechase where students have certain tasks they have to complete the first day, and then maybe the next day there are new missions that are going to be set out. You can set these up to release on specific days. So if I say create new, I can specify it to be relative to when the game starts or when the game ends, saying maybe we're going to release these 60 minutes ahead of time, or I can submit them and have them set up to roll out on a specific date. And you can do this by the individual mission. So once I've got my mission the way that I want it, I click save, but it tells me that I need to provide a point value. I like to give a nice round number, so maybe 100 points for every single mission I do, but maybe there are some missions that are going to weigh more heavily than other missions are. I also like that in Goosechase, you have the ability to go into a mission bank. So Goosechase has these pre-built in missions that make creating a Goosechase activity really simple. You can just go in, find some of the ones that Goosechase has provided, and add those as well. You can also go through previous missions where I can go to, Teach for Greatness game, and I can go in and I can add in missions from previous Goosechase activities that I've done with my teams or my classes or my staff. So I built a quick 6 mission Goosechase activity. I can now go ahead and take a look at my game script. This is going to be that automation piece. Everything's going to release at the same time, and then when the game ends, the points stop. I can go into branding, and this is going to be something that would be a little bit more marketable for big organizations that are doing Goosechases. But then down here for participants, because you're a GISD employee, you have the ability to have an unlimited number of teams and unlimited number of individuals within your Goose Chase activity. So you can come in here and you can choose teams, and then you can actually set up new teams. So maybe you are running a house system at your school and you want to set up your houses in here, and then students can go and log into their house and complete missions for their house. Or maybe you just want to do individual players where every student is going to be competing against each other. You can either pre-populate all of your student names here or all of your team names here, or you can allow participants to create their own player profile. Sometimes this can get sticky if a student puts in an inappropriate name. So I like to recommend that teachers go ahead and click create new. And then they can go in and populate their students or their teams there. And then finally, you have a start and a stop option where you can put a manual start and say, hey, the game's going to start when I click this button, boom. Or you can have it be set up automatically where it starts on a specific day and ends on a specific day or time if you want to do it within the same day. So once you have your Goosechase, you want to be able to give your students the information to be able to access your Goosechase. Down here in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen, you'll have the game code for the game you're currently working on. You can give your students access to this code and they can search for the game within the Goosechase app, or you can have them search for the name of your mission, which in my case, this mission would just be called example. And remember, if you put that password on there, then students are going to have to know the password to access the Goosechase. That's going to help you from a privacy standpoint, making sure that people on the internet are not able to see your students and the student works that you're posting. When it comes to those missions, you can also turn those privacies on as well, where you can put in where the missions are currently shown in the feed, you can turn them off. So maybe you're using Goosechase as a way to do your back to school meeting information, where students have to sign this document, sign this syllabus, yada, yada, yada. You can actually turn that off so that it's hidden in the feed, and now any private or pertinent information is not going to be visible to other players, but it will be visible to you as the teacher. So once you have your mission set up, you sent it out to your students, they've been playing, you can actually come in and you can look at the activity feed. Now, this activity feed is currently blank right now, but if I go into one of my previous activities, let's say the Granbury ISD convocation, I can go into the activity feed and I can see all of the responses from all of the teams that played today, played the game earlier today. I can go into the leaderboard where I see which teams are in first place all the way through the teams that were in 204th place. I can manually adjust a team. So if I'm like, hey, Miss Sennett's team has done a wonderful job, I can give them a bonus and say, y'all rock, add that bonus, oh, plus 500. Add that bonus, and it's going to adjust their score here. You can also remove a team. So if there's a team that you don't want on there, or if you want to send a message to all of your participants or a specific team, then you can send a message to them this way and they'll have a push notification sent to that team's phone. You can also go into the submissions, and here is where, under submissions, you can start applying the bonus points as well. So if I go in, I can see all of the missions that were under our first mission, and I can come in and I can add bonus to Mambrino, to GMS, to Team 113, to Team GHS. And it's an easy way for me to accommodate my students at a reasonable pace. Now, here's the only thing that you have to realize. Once a student submits a mission, they automatically collect those points. So you will want to make sure that you go in and for any missions that are completed incorrectly or not to your standard, you're able to go in and provide that negative bonus and say negative 5,000, and then give them the reason why. You can also do all of this in the activity feed as well, where I can just drop in and say add bonus. And this is going to be like a chronological list of all of the submitted videos that are going to be updated with the most recent ones at the very top. Finally, when you're all done and you have those submissions, there's an easy way for you to download the submissions. It will download to an easy zip file that you can put into your Google Drive, and then you can send all the pictures and videos out through Seesaw or through Classroom Dojo, or however you communicate those with your parents and with your kids, so that they're able to review some of those pictures and videos later on. I hope that this was helpful. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at GISD Tech 3, at Pirate Tech Trio, and at Coach Polano, and we will see you guys next time.